Wow, it's been a while since we've had a silencer suppressor yeeter discreeter from Silencer Shop in for testing. Say hello to the resistance. Not this resistance, and not that resistance, or that resistance, but this Resistance 22M from Griffin Armament. This little modular 22 can is rated for all rimfire 22 calibers, all the way up to slow fire rifle rated 5.56. The Resistance 22M is made from 7075 T6 aluminum, has type 3 hard anodizing for a surface finish. The 1/2 inch direct thread adapter is included with purchase. The baffles are made from aluminum and are labeled HEDP, or high efficiency dual purpose. I'm guessing that is just fancy talk for a patented baffle system. There are 5 of them. The standard configuration, which includes the 1/2 inch direct thread adapter here, comes in at 4.75 inches long with an OD of 1.375 inches and a total weight of 5.7 ounces. This can could be a little heavier than normal because I don't know how many rounds has been put through it, and it is a little dirty on the inside. If you add the minimalist blast shield needed to shoot 5.56 with the direct thread attachment, you pick up a total overall length of about 6.5 inches, and you add 5 more ounces for a total of 10.5 ounces. Our exit hole is 270 thousandths, which is average for other 22 cans we've tested. The serialized portion is the body of the can. The Resistance 22M is rated for full auto rimfire in 22 long rifle, 22 mag, and 17 HMR, as well as our 5.7x28. The rating for the 5.56, as mentioned, requires this blast shield mount and a minimum of a 16-inch barrel. You can only shoot 5 rounds at a time in a 1-minute time span, and then you must allow the whole can to cool to ambient temperatures before firing again. Now here's the interesting part about the Resistance 22M. It has a neoprene wipe in the end cap. This 3/16 inch thick rubber washer allows the can to have a tighter seal around the bullet as it passes through the end of the can, sealing in more gases, increasing the performance of the can without risking striking the end cap if you were to make the exit hole smaller sized. Being that this is a modular can, there are dozens of ways to configure it. You can run it with or without the wipe if you want. The taper mount attachment for the 5.56 allows various types of muzzle devices to be used, from flash hiders to muzzle brakes. They also offer a 3-lug adapter as well, which essentially would replace this direct thread adapter and sits flush with the can. Unfortunately, we only get 2 weeks to check these cans out through the Silencer Shop program, so I didn't have time to actually bring my 16-inch 5.56 gun out and try this on 5.56. Our hosts for our testing were 22 long rifle, both our Sig Sauer 1911 pistol that runs okay suppressed. It gets dirty rather easily in jams, as well as our Smith & Wesson 1522, which actually ran pretty well. We ran both Subsonics and Supersonics through both platforms without issue. You should be able to hear in the shooting videos me switching between the subsonic and supersonic rounds that we were using. I'll put an annotation just in case you can't hear. We pretty much use this Winchester super suppressed for the subsonic and just bulk pack Winchester 22 long rifle 40 grain for the supersonic stuff. We did 5.7x28mm as well. With our MK2 here, this is the DT Chaos slide cover with the RMR mount. We weren't getting any cycling with the subsonic ammunition that we had on hand, so we've contacted the manufacturers, as well as other people have too, to talk about possibly increasing the charge weight for the pistol subs to get them to cycle. I do have a footage of me using the older USG model of mine Subsonic, and that one seemed to run. So I don't know if it's maybe there's more rounds through that gun and there's a little more flex and it allows them to cycle. But this one didn't cycle with the subs. It did okay with the supers though. The rifle or longer barrel that we used for the 5.7 was our CMMG MK57 conversion. This is their new upper that uses a 40 round proprietary magazine that you can use on any AR-15 lower. This thing did great with the Detroit Ammo Co. 55 grain Subsonics. I have some from Vanguard that I'm going to use in another video for testing, so we'll have to stay tuned for that. But these things are just as quiet as 22 long rifle when shot through a good can like this when using Subsonics. The Supersonics through this weren't too bad. You can still hear that crack, but I'm not getting a whole lot of gas to the face, which is a good thing. Now, I didn't end up getting this in time, but I also purchased a Kel-Tec CMR 30 to continue some of our 22 mag testing, and unfortunately there's really no subsonic loads in 22 mag to really test besides shooting a 50 grain load out of a pistol barrel. So hopefully somebody comes out with a subsonic load for 16-inch barrels to test out. I don't see a lot of info online for how long a neoprene wipe will last in a suppressor such as this, but I have a few hundred rounds of 22 long rifle plus the 5.7 through it, and it still seems pretty intact. Like the OD of the rubber wipe in there doesn't seem to be too destroyed, so I'm going to guess it can last for a little while longer. I didn't see Griffin or Silencer Shop offering replacement wipes online, which from what I read, there seems to be conflicting info on whether silencer companies are allowed to sell the wipes directly to you, or if you just have to go to the hardware store and buy a piece of neoprene rubber and cut it and throw it in there. Takedown is accomplished from front to back. You can use their included tool to remove the direct thread mount if you want, but the baffles come out that way. So you'll need a fender washer, which didn't come with my sample. I have one right here, which is a little too big. So you have to pretty much use these little teeth up here to get it out. And you can see other people have kind of nicked the aluminum a little bit there doing this. But you'll take your end cap out here. Lots of threads. As I mentioned, you can run this can without the wipe that you can see there, and if you run that without the wipe, you can take this little spacer out and not include that. Our baffles, if they come out, Through the magic of video editing, you can see I've now disassembled this can. I had to get Mr. Dowelrod to give these a little love tap. You can see this is our black anodized baffle. This is considered the blast baffle, so that goes on the bottom. These other four guys here are the other baffles, and they are anodized blue, and these can go in any order that you want them to. For reassembly, you can see the baffles are keyed here, so you can just line those keys up with each other, maybe. Isn't this always fun doing this stuff on camera? You're so nervous, drop things, break stuff. And then you just shove this back in the can and reassemble. I'll probably actually go wipe this off before I do that so I can get them back in there. As with any online review, this is always a sample of one, and your mileage or your experience may vary. My only concern with this type of modular can is ensuring all the different thread points are good. The end cap never came loose, although the direct thread adapter, or this blast shield that I used for just seeing how it worked, this thread adapter came loose a couple of times from mounting it on the gun and then having to use torque to remove it. So this loosened up, and then after I really reefed on it with a crescent wrench, it was good to go. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I don't know the total round count on this sample, but with this resistance 22M, when I went to take off the direct thread adapter, which is made out of aluminum as well, it threads on and off those threads with ease. This blast baffle must have a slightly larger OD for these threads. So when I went to thread it on, it actually wouldn't thread on more than one thread. You can kind of hear right now that it's still tight, and that was after I put oil in there and would, tighten it back and forth. And then luckily I have a vise down to the gun range, so I put the crescent wrench in the vise and then put my gloves on and was able to sit down there and keep turning and turning this back and forth until I cleaned enough of the threads out and worked it to where I could get it to thread all the way on. As always, I'd like to thank Silencer Shop, especially for opening this program back up so we can get cans back in for testing, all those that support me through Patreon and other means, and you all for watching. And until next time, catch you at the range. Eyebrows in check?
Never.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, it's been a while since we had a suppressor silencer yeeter discreeter from Silencer Shop here in the range.
God. Matt?
Yeah.
Poop. 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 Hear him? He's back here. He's over that way. Yeah, the nest. I was hoping you'd see that. Look how big that sumbitch is, Matt.